The ancient world, a realm of mystery and wonder, where the echoes of the past still resonate in the ruins scattered across the landscape, a tapestry of kingdoms and empires, each with its own story, its own rise and fall, woven into the fabric of history. From the fertile banks of the Nile where the pharaohs ruled, to the mighty Euphrates, the lifeblood of Mesopotamia, civilizations rose and fell, leaving behind legacies that still captivate us today. Stories echoed through time, passed down through generations, some whispered in awe of great achievements, others in fear of the dark deeds that led to their downfall. Amongst these tales, none are as chilling or as enduring as the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, cities whose names have become synonymous with sin and divine retribution. These cities, etched in the book of Genesis, have become symbols of moral decay and the ultimate price of wickedness. Their story a stark warning etched into the annals of history. They stand as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked desire and the wrath of a higher power, a tale that has been told and retold through the ages. But what really transpired in these cities? What events led to their infamous destruction? What acts of depravity earned them such a fearsome reputation, and why have their names endured as symbols of ultimate moral failure? The answers lie shrouded in the mists of time, pieced together from ancient texts, archaeological fragments, and the interpretations of scholars who have dedicated their lives to uncovering the truth. But the story, like the flames that engulfed those cities, continues to burn bright in our collective memory, a cautionary tale for all humankind, reminding us of the fragile line between civilization and chaos. Let's delve into the heart of this ancient narrative, exploring the myths, the historical accounts, and the archaeological evidence to uncover the truth behind Sodom and Gomorrah, and what their story can teach us about the human condition.
Sodom and Gomorrah, nestled in the fertile Jordan Valley, were once the epitome of ancient prosperity. These cities thrived on bustling trade routes, their markets filled with exotic goods from distant lands. Their fields were lush and abundant, yielding bountiful harvests that fed their people and fueled their economy. The citizens enjoyed a life of ease and plenty, their days filled with the pleasures of a thriving society. Yet beneath this veneer of prosperity lurked a darkness, a shadow that grew with each passing day. This darkness was a moral decay, a rot that spread through the hearts of the people. Whispers of their wickedness reached far and wide, carried by travelers and traders who spoke of the city's descent into depravity. Tales of rampant immorality, of lust and violence, were recorded in ancient texts, painting a grim picture of life within those city walls. It was said that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had abandoned all sense of decency, their actions driven by a relentless pursuit of pleasure. They turned away from their gods, forsaking the sacred rituals and traditions that once guided their lives. Instead, their hearts were consumed by a hunger for gratification, their days and nights filled with revelry and excess. As the whispers of depravity grew louder, so too did the sense of impending doom. The skies darkened, and a foreboding atmosphere settled over the once prosperous cities. Prophets and seers warned of the consequences, but their words fell on deaf ears. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah were too far gone, lost in their own hedonistic pursuits. And so, the cities that once stood as symbols of prosperity and abundance were reduced to ruins, their legacy a cautionary tale of the dangers of moral decay. The nature of their sins, as described in ancient texts, was one of utter disregard for morality and law. They indulged in acts of wanton sexuality, disregarding all societal norms and taboos. They were known for their cruelty to strangers, their lack of hospitality, a stark contrast to the customs of the time. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah, it seemed, had turned their backs on the very principles that held society together. They had chosen a path of self-indulgence and wickedness, their hearts hardened against the pleas of the righteous.
Word of the city's depravity eventually reached the divine realm. God, angered and grieved by the wickedness he witnessed, decided to intervene. He would judge these cities to determine if their hearts were as black as the rumors suggested. To this end, he dispatched angels to Sodom, disguised as travelers to assess the situation firsthand. Their arrival, however, would set in motion a chain of events that would seal the city's fate. Lot, a righteous man residing in Sodom, welcomed the strangers into his home, unaware of their true nature. As night fell, the men of Sodom, driven by their lustful desires, surrounded Lot's house, demanding he hand over his guests for their perverse gratification. Lot's refusal and the subsequent revelation of the angels' true identities confirmed God's worst fears. The wickedness of Sodom was absolute, their hearts beyond redemption. Judgment was at hand.
The angels, their mission complete, warned Lot of the impending destruction. They instructed him to flee the city with his family, forbidding them from looking back upon the city. In the dead of night, with fire raining from the heavens, Lot and his family fled Sodom, leaving behind their home and all they had ever known. Their escape, however, would be marked by tragedy. Lot's wife, overcome with curiosity and perhaps longing for the life they left behind, disobeyed the angel's command and looked back upon the city.
The consequences were immediate and irreversible. Lot's wife, frozen in her disobedience, was transformed into a pillar of salt, a stark and chilling reminder of the importance of obedience in the face of divine judgment. Lot and his daughters, their hearts heavy with grief and the weight of their narrow escape, continued their flight, eventually finding refuge in a cave. The once prosperous cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, meanwhile, were reduced to smouldering ruins, wiped from the face of the earth.
Section 8. Lessons from the Ashes. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah, though ancient, continues to resonate with a chilling relevance even today. It serves as a stark warning against the dangers of unchecked desire, the corrosive effects of immorality, and the potential consequences of societal decay. The tale reminds us that actions have consequences both in this life and the next. It highlights the importance of morality, compassion, and adherence to a higher law.
Section 9. Sodom and Gomorrah in history. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah has been a subject of debate and interpretation throughout history. Some scholars view it as a literal historical event, a testament to the power of God and the consequences of sin.
Others interpret it allegorically, a cautionary tale about the dangers of moral corruption and the importance of social justice. Regardless of one's interpretation, the story's impact on Western thought and morality is undeniable. It has shaped religious beliefs, ethical codes, and even legal systems for millennia.
Section 10. Echoes in Modernity. The echoes of Sodom and Gomorrah can be seen in our own time. Issues of sexual morality, social justice, and the limits of personal freedom continue to be debated fiercely. The story serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of societal breakdown and the importance of upholding moral and ethical standards. While interpretations and applications may vary, the core message of the story remains timeless. A society that embraces vice and shuns virtue does so at its own peril.
Section 11. A timeless warning. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not just an ancient tale of destruction, but a timeless warning. These cities, once thriving and full of life, were reduced to ashes due to their inhabitants' moral decay and disregard for ethical principles. It reminds us that the pursuit of pleasure without regard for morality, the abuse of power, and the indifference towards the suffering of others can lead to the downfall of individuals and societies alike. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah indulged in excesses, ignoring the cries of the oppressed and the needy, ultimately sealing their fate. It is a story that compels us to look within, to examine our own hearts and actions, and to strive for a just and compassionate world, lest we repeat the mistakes of those lost cities of the past. The lessons from Sodom and Gomorrah urge us to foster empathy, uphold justice, and act with integrity in our daily lives. The ashes of Sodom and Gomorrah stand as a silent testament to this enduring truth. They serve as a stark reminder that the consequences of our actions are far-reaching. By learning from history, we can build a future that honors the values of compassion, justice, and moral integrity, ensuring that the mistakes of the past are not repeated.